Are you interested in getting your first apartment building this year?
Today we're going to talk about the best way to find apartment deals without breaking the bank, spending huge money on marketing campaigns.
If you haven't already, click the subscribe button below and ring the bell so you get alerted every week when we drop a new video.
All right, there's lots of other gurus out there that are going to tell you, oh, there's no good deals. You're really going to have to work super hard for that. You're going to have to do yellow letter campaigns, and you're going to have to be calling and going to the title company and getting lists and spending tons of money driving around trying to find landlords. Like, they make it sound so difficult, and it's just not.
But there's really only one way that yields about 95% of the results that we've been getting and our students have been getting. And that one way is building relationships with commercial realtors and brokers. Now, when I say that, is it really that simple though?
I mean, it is that simple. Now, let's not confuse simple with easy, because I mean, real estate investing is just so easy, right?
Yeah, that's why everyone does it.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But it's also not so complicated that you can't do it if you have the right formula and you have the steps A, B, C, D, E, and you go and take action and implement them. The whole idea is building those relationships. Now, how are you going to build those relationships? If you haven't seen our other videos before, you may or may not know this, but everything that Jen and I do, we do remotely, meaning our physical bodies are wherever it's convenient to be. They're right here, right? But the apartment deals that we're investing in are not right here. They're everywhere but here. How are we contacting and talking to brokers and building these relationships when we're not there? So it's going to take a lot of phone calls and a lot of follow-up.
Wait. It's not this anymore, is it? Because
yeah, it would be like
in the cell phone world, is it this?
This or this?
You get what we mean. What were you just doing with that hand?
It's actually a cell phone. It's for your cell phone.
Wrong message. We teach multifamily.
So you're going to be doing like tons of picking up the phone and calling, and then you need to have a strong follow-up game. Like, your follow-up game needs to be on point. Don't think for a second that the first time you talk to a broker, they're gonna be like, oh, absolutely, let me go spend all my time that I'm not getting paid for to go find you the perfect deal. That's not realistic, right? That doesn't happen. They're gonna be skeptical.
Until close on that first deal.
Absolutely. So you're gonna be dealing with a lot of skepticism in the beginning. So you're calling out, they don't know who you are, they don't know if you've ever done a deal, and maybe you have, and maybe you haven't. Either way, you're gonna position very strongly. Now, how do you do that when you're a brand new investor and you don't know what to say? It's called taking reps. And later in this video, we're gonna tell you what to say, but it's about taking reps, doing it over and over and over, and frankly, being okay with sounding not good at all. Yeah. But someone's gotta do it. I mean, and frankly, if you're really worried about sounding like you don't know what you're talking about,
I have the best tip ever.
Let's hear it.
So the best tip, one of the things that I would do before I'm gonna enter the market, right? Like, you pick the market that you're gonna go into. Well, before I would go in there, I would be like, and I would practice in a market that I wasn't really gonna intend to enter, so that I can have those phone calls and take those reps on the phone and practice and cut my teeth on a market that didn't really matter, but I'm learning the lingo, I'm learning to have that conversation. Then, once I feel more comfortable, and I only had to do that like one time, then I'm going in and I'm talking to in my market to build those relationships. But sometimes when you are a perfectionist or you're worried about not sounding right, you might want to practice on a smaller scale. That's a good trick.
So Jen's like Superwoman over here. She only had to do it one time. Me? It's just embarrassing. I can't even tell you. Just know that the journey to becoming good at being on the phone, it sometimes takes a lot of reps, especially if you're like a super literal, analytical person and talking on the phone is like torture. But actually, it's easy.
I didn't mean one phone call.
Oh, that's what
I meant in one span of time. In one market.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong.
I was like, wow.
It took like 10 calls,
Again,
took her 100.
made my point. I'm not saying how many calls. I didn't exactly keep track. But I'm just saying, it took a minute. You're gonna have to get uncomfortable. Just get square with it. It's only uncomfortable until you're familiar. Just like whatever you do for a living right now, at some point you didn't know how to do it, and you had to be uncomfortable while you're going through and learning it on the job training. Investing is no different.
Yeah, I agree. If you're liking this video so far, click the like button. Show us a little bit of love. Why do you think that people don't get started right away then?
I think that people hear so much about, oh my gosh, the market is so competitive. There's no deals. This is not the right time. I mean, you'll hear that not only from other investors who clearly aren't investing, by the way. So do you really want to be listening to them? Or do you want to listen to people who are investing? You might also hear that from real estate brokers. Oh, you missed it. The opportunity was fill in the blank what year. But you were always going to hear that no matter what market you're in. You have to just take those words and get rid of them. But I really think that's why people just don't start, because they keep hearing all the chatter. You know what? Let those people be crabs in a pot. You go after it. I'm telling you, the deals are out there. It's not going to come easy, but if you're willing to go for it, they're there. And this is not that complicated.
Hey, so if you've been struggling and you've been like, oh, I'm a little afraid, I don't really want to get started, like, drop a comment below and let us know. How can we help? Okay, so most of you might be thinking, well, how do I even find these people? How do I start building these relationships? So how do we do that?
Okay, well, I mean, there's a number of different ways to do it, but let's just give you the fastest, easiest way to start getting into action. So you're gonna start looking for commercial realtors and brokers. Well, where do you find them? Well, there's these 2 commercial property websites out there. Now, I'm never gonna tell you to go look for properties on those websites, because by the time they've made it to those websites, they've already been given to all of the investors that those brokers have relationships with. So it's very unusual to find a good deal on either of those websites. Those websites are LoopNet, so it's LOOPNET.com, or Crexi, CREXI. Although I'm not saying you can never find a good deal. We've actually had some of our students find some good deals there, but I'm not suggesting you go there to find deals. But if there's a deal listed there, somebody listed it. That is the person that I want you to go build a relationship with. So you can use LoopNet and Crexi. They are free public websites that are specific to multifamily and commercial real estate. And you basically start making a list of all of the different brokers that are in the market that you're basically, whether you're doing the practice calls or whether you're in the actual markets that you want to invest in and making real calls. But you make a list of those brokers and you just start dialing and you're talking to them. It's really great if you can say, hey, I saw your listing on Crexi for that 14 unit building. I wanted to get more information. And it just allows you can see that the numbers are like complete garbage. It doesn't matter. The whole point is have something, have a reason, have an excuse to start the conversation, let them get to know you. And you can say, when they send you information, you can say, okay, well, that one's not a fit for me because frankly, I think they're just asking way too much and it's stabilized. And I'm really looking for something that's more of a value add. So it just allows you to start talking to them and then following up. Don't plan on or think you're gonna get listings or great deals within a couple of days. Like, it takes calls and follow-ups, but I'll tell you what, that's where the money is, if you'll engage and do it.
Okay, so as a brand new apartment investor, what should they say on the phone when they're calling these brokers? What do they say?
All right, well, for starters, it's important that you know, like, what are you even trying to accomplish? Now, Jen and I specialize in teaching brand new real estate investors or brand new apartment investors how to get into their first deal. So I know the 100-unit ones are so sexy, but the reality is you're gonna get much further faster if you start off with something that's actually attainable and relatively quickly. So anywhere between 5 to 20 units is typically going to be good. It doesn't have to be that, but focusing on something that's a little bit smaller allows you to get into the game more quickly. And the other thing you want to say, especially if you're new, it's a little bit trickier and you just got to take more reps. But what you're going to say is, look, my partner and I are coming into this market. We are new to this market. I'm not saying I'm new to real estate. I mean, you are not going to say I'm new to real estate. My partner and I are new to this market and we want to get a sense for kind of what's going on here, and ultimately, we're looking to close on the property in the next 3 to 6 months. So, what do you have available that you can send me that I can start taking a look? Because I'd love to buy a deal with you, and then another and another.
Now, keep in mind when you're having those conversations, the 2 strategies that we're always talking about, right? There's either value add or stabilize and performing. And you need to know which strategy you want to use when you're talking to the broker. Okay, so if you don't know what a stabilized or performing asset is, it's when you get it and it's already cash flowing and you don't really have to do a lot of things to get it rent ready. You don't have to do a lot of renovations. It's already performing. On a value add, that one you're probably gonna get it under market and you could probably do some things to increase the value, like increasing rents. Anything that you can do to increase the NOI can also increase the value. So a value add opportunity is something that you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do a little bit of work.
Now, what's NOI for our people who are newer?
Net operating income.
All right, there you go.
Sorry, sometimes I forget. I just use acronyms like, a champ and throw them out there. NOI, it's the net operating income.
Once you have that down, like how many units you want to get into, and do you want to get into stabilized or performing, or do you want to take down a value add? Once you are crystal clear on what you want to accomplish, then you're just literally going to have phone call after phone call after phone call. So for example, hi, my name is Stacy Conkey, and my partner and I are coming into this market. This is a new market for us. We're really looking for something that's between 10 or 15 units thereabouts, and we're definitely looking for a value add project. So anything that requires renovation or it has poor management, anything that frankly is a pain in the butt, we're interested. So whatever you got that meets that criteria, send it our way. We're looking to close a deal here in the next 90 days.
Awesome, Stacy. So why don't you tell me what your purchase point is? What type of return are you looking at? I'm just kidding. Let's do a little role play.
Okay, so now that you're clear on what you're gonna say, you're just gonna call and call and call. And don't forget about your follow-up game. Look, a good follow-up game is literally going to make you millions of dollars over your career.
If you do want to get into multifamily real estate investing, but you're not sure what's the first step, the second, or the third, you can click the link in the description below and a member of our team will hop on the phone with you and talk about your goals, your resources, and how we can hold your hand and get you to where you want to be.
The other thing we want to tell you is that we have a free Facebook group. It's called Multifamily Real Estate Investing. So if you want to be around people that are like you on the journey, looking to learn, come join us in that Facebook group. We do tons of free education and content there. And every week, Jen and I make ourselves available for a question and answer session. It's live, it's in Zoom, we're face to face. You gotta come to the Facebook group, register, go to events, and then we'll see you there. But any questions you have about real estate, we're there to answer them for you.
Okay, if you want to learn how to get started investing in apartments, watch this video right here, and we'll see you guys next week.